Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Revving, and just gonna make a real short video on my phone here, just for the sake of quick turnaround time. Based off the title of the video, we've got some really awesome news to share. And it may not be totally new to you guys who are looking into GTD news, but yesterday, an email went out to all the applicants, I think all the applicants anyway, I'm seeing a lot of people now, on whether they got accepted for the GTD, the Mustang GTD or not. And I'm happy to say, not gonna beat around the bush, you guys probably saw the title, but I got accepted for the GTD, which made me feel all kinds of ways. Very, very excited. It was a snap decision. I've seen some people got accepted and they're still considering it. Not here. It's a snap decision. It's an absolutely yes. It's been since August of 2023. So I had a whole year to be ready for this. And worst case, if I got denied, I would have been in a great financial position and had a lot saved up. But I treated every expense and every decision I made expenditure-wise on as if this was going to happen. So getting that email yesterday morning felt very, very good. And it felt like all the efforts over the last year were very worthwhile. And I can't wait to keep you guys posted. If you guys are going to be purchasing one for yourself or just vicariously viewing, I want to entertain y'all. I want to show you guys the process. I probably won't get this car for what, a year and a half? I don't know. But the process during it is what I'm looking forward to almost as much as the car itself. But the car itself, man, it's just, those videos, seeing it tested at the Nürburgring or seeing it at Goodwood, they're a lot more fun to watch now, knowing that it's gonna happen. I guess going in that order, when the car got unveiled back in 2023, right away, and I saw the estimated starting price, I knew it was something I was gonna wanna pursue, and I figured it was gonna be in the same kind of format of the 4GT as far as application process, a big down payment, and everything that goes along those lines. As for the following processes, we could go on a lot of rumors, a lot of things that are pretty repetitive that I'm hearing a lot, but I'm gonna have to assume it's gonna be pretty similar to the 4GT. Now, when the 4GT came out, I was just out of high school, so I was not, applying for a 4GT. But based off that, people who did get accepted had to pay 50% right away, just to show that they're very, very serious. And then the remaining balance of the car once it was ready to go, if I'm not mistaken. Any 4GT owners out there, let me know if that's the way it was. But the thing I'm confused by is they don't know and I don't know what options I'm going to choose, and the options I do choose, how much are they going to cost? So just a total guess here, it might be some process of 50% of the starting price that we know of is 325 grand, 50% of that. Once it comes down to options, maybe you pay for all those options up front right then and there, and then the remaining balance of the vehicle when it's ready. That's all assumption, but all I know, or all I can assume, is they're gonna need a pretty big lump sum to show that we're getting the ball rolling. So ready to go for that whenever that might be. All I know for now is in that email, I got 2 documents to sign, and those were, it is a Ford Mustang GTD affidavit in eligibility and release, and I just met up with someone just a little bit ago to get it notarized, so that document signed and notarized, ready to go. Another one was the confidentiality acknowledgement signed, that's ready to go as well. However, it's Labor Day weekend and USPS is closed and it has to go out through USPS. So Tuesday, I'll send it out through priority mail and we'll get that going. Unbelievably excited about the car for the car itself, the hardware. I mean, brand aside, Mustang aside, limited edition, who cares? The hardware, the car itself is gonna be something like I haven't experienced, at least not ownership of. So it's gonna be very, very just awesome. But what I can't express enough is how excited I am, not just for the car itself, but this process is just gonna be something that I remember forever. I think it's just really, really cool to do something what very well might be financially irresponsible, and sometimes that's okay. I'm not an advisor out here, but I just can't wait for the process. The GTD concierge service, if it's anything like what I heard of the 4GT concierge service, it's just gonna be so fun, so cool. And the fact of the matter is, price aside, the year is 2025, 2026 year model, and we're gonna be talking about a 800 plus horsepower, 5.2 liter supercharged V8 car in this day and age is pretty great, but it's more than just that one trick straight line pony, like most of the cars behind it. This is a straight up supercar that just happens to have the pony on it, and that's okay by me. But like I said, this is gonna be something I remember for the rest of my life. So I personally am not too concerned what the market on the car looks like after I buy it. And I think hopefully if Ford did it right, they chose enough people that think that same way. Of course, people that are gonna use it, yes, of course, but people who really don't care about that secondhand value. Who knows? Now, obviously we could go back to the 4GT and see what those are doing based off their MSRP. And secondhand, yeah, quite the premium. And a lot of people are tied up into that and thinking, oh, I don't want to buy it if it's not going to do that. I'm in a good position to where I can just not think of that. If the car loses 100 grand the day I take delivery, or if it goes up 200 grand, the result's the same, the car doesn't change, and I wouldn't sell it. Speaking of which, not that it matters, but part of those things that I signed are saying that I can't sell it for 24 months after getting it anyway. Not too concerned about that. I'm really a big story person. The story with this GTD is what's going to make me want to keep it for life. So that being said, secondhand market, cool to know if it goes up. Wouldn't affect the car itself. Wouldn't affect what I want to do with it. So not too concerned about that. Somewhat along that subject, I think I want to show you guys a little piece of footage I saw the other day. I can't even believe I remembered that I said this over 7 years ago, but I actually made a video back a little over 7 years ago when I bought my GT350. I made some kind of a half joke, but it turns out I kind of spoke something into existence. So I kind of want to show you. It's pretty funny, but I was 19 buying my GT350, spending every last penny I saved up for. I was supposed to buy a house. If you guys haven't heard the story, saved up enough for a down payment on a house, and instead I bought my GT350. And as I was buying it, I said this with my friend there.
Just wait for the next GT.
That's gonna be the next one, because what I'm doing now.
One of those?
Yeah, I actually don't really want the GT350. I'm just doing this to build my relationship with Ford. That way,
Right.
2024.
Well, you and
GT
Jay
comes
Leno,
out.
huh?
Yeah, exactly. So all these years later, seems like I kind of spoke that into existence, which is kind of funny. But that was my friend next to me there, and he pointed at a poster of the new, at the time, Ford GT, the EcoBoost generation. And he says, "Are you going to get that next?" or something like that. And I totally made a joke saying that, oh yeah, I don't even want the GT350. I'm only doing this just to build a relationship with Ford so I could buy the 2024, whatever it might be. Obviously that was a joke about the GT350 because it's freaking awesome. I'm always gonna keep it, never gonna get rid of it. And it turns out I bought a couple more Shelbys as well and some trucks along the way. But how funny is that yeah, we are actually in the year 2024, 7 years later, and had the same application process. And not only that, but did it and got approved. So I remember I said something like that. So I went back and saw my video the other day, yesterday, when I got accepted. I'm like, did I say something like that? And sure enough, I did. And it became very humbling. I would have not thought 7 years ago another process like this would be happening, that I'd be in a position to do it. And that being said, not that this is a financial advisory channel, but I am in a position to do this, but not by as much as other people. I'm not like Jay Leno. I'm not like these other people just sitting on enough cash to just make these things happen all the time. It was a year's worth of, hoping for the best. And thankfully I do well enough to where I could have prepared for this, but it took a lot of discipline, and it's not done. We still have to buy the damn car. It's not like Ford's gifting it to us. We're buying this thing, and it's not cheap. So there's a lot of work to still be done, but I'm happy to say I'm in a good position to make it happen. So we're going to make it happen. Can't afford not to, is my thinking behind this. Another thing with that too is going back to the whole, but it's a Mustang thing. My dream car, I guess technically prior to this GTD, was a Ford GT, the 2005-2006 generation. So a lot of people, rightfully so, trust me, I've had this mindset too, is for the price of this GTD, very likely the way it's going to be configured, because I don't think I want to skip out on anything. I'm going to go every option I can get, the Carbon series and everything. Very likely the price of this GTD will be at, if not possibly even slightly more than the going price of a used 2005-2006 Ford GT. I would want the Mark II black with the painted silver stripes, BBSs and all that stuff. And let's say we could find one of those for high threes or about $400,000. Ideally, I would want one with some miles because I would want to drive it as well. But let's say, just to keep this simple, the prices are the same, GTD and Ford GT, with this one being my dream car. The mindset I had was this car, the Ford GT, if I were to buy it today, is used. But used Ford GTs will always be around. Let's say I'm ready for one in 4 years from now. I could buy a used Ford GT 4 or 5 years from now. The GTD, yeah, they might be around used, but the opportunity to go through this process is one time. It's now. So I want to jump on this, and we will think about this. We'll put it in the back burner, and I would love to buy a Ford GT before too long. This process is a leap of faith because we still don't know certain things. Final production numbers, actual price point of all the options and stuff, the weight of the vehicle, the final horsepower of the vehicle, what the lap time will be at Nürburgring. Will it actually be under 7 minutes? I'm sure it will. And with those leaps, I'm going to sleep just fine at night because it's Ford. And that might sound very biased, but I think some brands just reward the customers who take those leaps of faith. Ford being one of them. You could say the Ford GT back in 2016 was a leap of faith. They got rewarded for sure. Just by, the car winning at Le Mans and everything like that is pretty cool, and what it did for the cars, for the street cars. And I think a brand like Ford will appreciate that leap of faith. And I think they'll reward the customers because I just don't think they'll disappoint. I think the process of the GTD is gonna be super cool. I think the car itself is gonna be more than anyone can ever assume it's gonna be as far as what it rivals, what it puts down lap time wise. Who knows what the horsepower is gonna be, all that stuff. I mean, I'm excited to learn, but I doubt it's gonna be disappointing, and that's why I am very confident in this process. And if some brass over at Ford's watching, Ford to Ford Performance, I want to say thank you so much. You definitely picked the right guy here. The car is going to be used properly and cared for at the same time, and cared for a very, very long time through my ownership. I will keep you guys posted, but GTD is happening, and I'm so stoked for it. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.